What is up, everyone? I want to talk about the Gnut fusion, which is coming to an end in the next couple of days. Some of you guys probably already fused the champion either today, either yesterday. Some of you guys will be more patient and will wait for the CVC. Either way, I want to show you how to build this champion and avoid this mistake when you are building the champion, because it really depends where you are in the game, what exactly you are planning to do with the champion, and then you're going to determine how exactly you want to build a champion to benefit you the most. Basically, this is one of the best PvE fusions we've ever had in the game, just because he's so freaking powerful for a endgame, for progression. All around, he's a very strong champion, and with the A1, you know the skill, a triple hitter, either drops the thermometer, either drops a freeze, and this makes him viable for the Fire Knight on normal mode and on hard mode. So that's actually great news for everybody out there. It's kind of like the new allure. The A2 AoE decrease attack plus a weaken and places a counter attack buff on this champion on a 3-turn cooldown. A very, very nice skill. And then the A3 attacks one enemy 3 times, and this damage is based on enemy max HP. So imagine having 3 cold hearts using their heart seeker back to back to back. That's what this skill actually means. Then on top of it, you are actually decreasing the defense on the target, stacking up to 30%. Each hit decreases the target's defense by 3%. So 10 hits with this skill and you're going to decrease the defense on the target by 30%. Kind of like having a smaller version of defense down. Then the passive, when counterattacking, deals 100% of the damage instead. So all around as a champion, guys, is pretty solid. You do have the accuracy aura for dungeons, and the A1 doesn't hit very hard. So that's one thing to keep in mind. His animations are pretty slow. That's why I kind of like want to point out and kind of like give you an advice on how to build the champion right, depending on where you are in the game. The A2 again, it doesn't do crazy damage, but it's fairly decent. Now the A3 is kind of like a different level. And honestly, if you have a defense down and a weaken on any of the bosses in the game, right? Regardless if it's hard mode dungeons or normal mode, this skill with defense down will most probably hit the cap with every single hit if you have a decent build. Now, if you're progressing through the game, you're gonna want to build him on Savage because you have no cap on the enemy max HP. So if you're going, for example, on stage 20 on the Spider, you're gonna be able to do some crazy damage if he is on Savage. Now, if you're gonna keep him on Relentless for that, he's not really gonna benefit you much, okay? So you wanna make sure you don't have him built on Relentless. And you do wanna have full crit rate on him, tons of crit damage. Those are the main things that you wanna prioritize. So don't stress on jumping quick on defense, okay? Because the main thing that he really brings to the team is the enemy max HP. So you want to prioritize full crit rate, crit damage, and then, of course, your speed, your accuracy if needed, and defense. So the accuracy is going to be really helpful for the A1, for the A2. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, if you're not progressing through the game and you are building him for a specific Fire Knight team, you're building him for Hydra Clan boss, or maybe for some Doom Tower bosses or something else, Relentless actually works amazing on him because you're getting a lot of benefits from it, right? Like getting the extra turns every now and then will help you a lot, especially if you are building a Fire Knight team where you're relying to control the thermometer pretty much non-stop. So this is the build that I have at the moment, and this build is ideal for a Hydra Clan boss. If I want to do a dragon, for example, if I want to do a team for the Fire Knight, it's actually going to be pretty good like this. If I want to build him specific for the Spider dungeon, hard mode, stage 10, if I want to build him specific for the Fire Knight, for example, with a team that doesn't really rely only on thermometer manipulation, and I'm trying to do speed runs, then Relentless is not going to be that great if is something that doesn't require him to gain all those extra turns because his animations are extremely slow. So this is something more for the end game players, you know. So then Savage comes back in the menu, in my opinion. And I'm gonna show you a couple of examples in just a second. I'm gonna show you the stats that I have on him. So if you are building him with Relentless, you're gonna wanna use as many refresh accessories as possible if you have them available, because when he is using the A3, you might get lucky enough for a refresh accessory to proc and have the A3 available again, you know, if you don't use a Kaimar or a Yumeko or a Renegade to reset the skills on the champion, you know. Then, when we are talking about blessings, I feel like Phantom Touch is the most beneficial one for him, considering that Phantom Touch procs per hits, not per skill. So basically, the A1 is a triple hitter. So when you have the Phantom Touch at 6-star, for example, you're gonna have a 100% chance to inflict bonus damage, and you're gonna get 3 hits for the A1 or 3 hits for the A3, for example. That's gonna be a massive help on the Fire Knight. And yeah, using Brimstone honestly is not great. Brimstone really got a massive hit, a massive nerf when they changed the accuracy requirement. It can be cleansed now, etc. So Phantom Touch would be the most ideal blessing for him. And talking about Masteries, guys, you're gonna want to get offense and support 3. Giant Slayer as tier 6, that's gonna be the most beneficial thing for him because he's a multi-hitter, so has a chance to proc this extra damage multiple times. And of course, having a Cycle of Magic is gonna be beneficial. It's only a 5% chance, but hey, it's gonna proc every now and then. And Master Hexer is gonna help with the A2, for example, to extend the duration of the debuffs. Total stats on my Gnut, for example, the Relentless one, 48k HP, 4.3k defense. Now, attack doesn't matter whatsoever. Do not focus on attack because it's not gonna benefit you at all. 249 speed, 101 crit rate, 237 crit damage, 330 accuracy. Now, I can tell you for a fact that with this amount of crit damage on a Relentless set, I'm going to hit the cap on Fire Knight Hard Mode Stage 10 if I have defense down. Most probably, even with a Weaken, is going to be enough to hit the cap on the enemy max HP. 10%, 10%, 10%. So basically drop 30% of the HP. Now, this is most probably going to do the exact same thing in most of the dungeons. So if we're gonna head over to the Spider dungeon, just quickly to give you an example. Let's just say you're gonna have him on Relentless, but you wanna build a team like this for the Spider dungeon. And what's gonna happen here is that not only that he's not going to hit the enemy max HP cap, but if he's gaining extra turns, that's gonna slow you down. Now, for example, he's replacing Coldheart in this team, so that means that he's going first. And how I mentioned, he's not going to hit the enemy max HP cap. Yes, gaining an extra turn is not the biggest issue whatsoever, but it's still slowing you down. If you want to have a 10-second team with his slow animations, this will actually add you quite a bit of extra time. Now, it's great to see that he's dealing so much damage. I'm loving it, that's why he is such an amazing champion. Being able to come in here and just drop that damage, a triple hitter like this is just absolutely nuts, like it's going to improve pretty much everyone's Spider team, everyone's Fire Knight team, everyone's Dungeons teams, and even Doom Tower bosses and stuff. Now, if you would have him on Savage, this will hit the enemy max HP cap with every single hit. You're not gonna risk to gain an extra turn and slow down the run. So that's kind of like a plus. Now, if we're gonna head over to the Fire Knight dungeon just to show you a different example, I'm playing around with a lot of different teams, guys. I'm super pissed off that I'm missing Creodon, man. I don't have that champion, and I really hope they're gonna do a 10x soon on him because I can't wait to build the teams that I have in my mind. Like, it's annoying not to be able to build them. So basically, ignore the team, right? Like, I'm not showcasing a Fire Knight team here. I'm just showcasing the best builds and utility for the champion, So here, when we are talking about waves, it's not necessarily a bad thing to gain extra turns. If you're gaining extra turns, that will slow you down. And for the majority of people, will not really be an issue. Like extra turn, the damage is pretty underwhelming like this. Now, if you would have him on Savage, for example, his damage will be much better on the waves. Like, get even more defense. That will actually be really beneficial for the champion, especially that it's pretty annoying to kill these waves without using a Seer or a Galvalex and Poison Detonation sort of comp or anything like that, you see? The damage from the A2 was not that impressive all around, It seems like right now we actually didn't got that lucky with this run here on the wave because Raiho decided to just stun our Coldheart, but that's fine. We're gonna pick her slowly. The freeze is pretty annoying as well on the waves because that slows you down too. But once you reach the boss, right? So I kind of like want to show you that you are able to hit the enemy max HP cap without a problem. You don't need Savage for that to happen. So if you're building some sort of a team where Relentless is going to be beneficial, definitely go with Relentless, because you're going to get a better value all around for content, you know. If you want to use him in Spider and you have a more specific team in mind and you're kind of like, yeah, I want to be efficient with my time, then go with Savage, you know. I kind of like wanted to pinpoint the difference in between the two sets and how they benefit, you see. So right now we haven't hit the cap, but we didn't have defense down all weekend. And we were super close to the cap. The cap is 588k or 558k. We're about to find out in just a second. When we're gonna use the skill again. The boss actually had heal reduction, so that stopped him from healing. But still, his animations are pretty slow. So if you are planning to run a team with Valkyrie counter attack like this, you're not really gonna have a fast Fire Knight team, you know. So while Valkyrie is awesome in here, and she was much better before Gnut, I feel like now I definitely need to drop her from my team. So I've tried all sorts of teams with double ally attack. The main issue is that I don't have Creodon available to give me the increased speed, to give me more Thermitter manipulation. That would actually be amazing, you know. Will make such a big difference. Extra turn, okay, so that's actually beneficial. Can we have the A3 now? Beautiful, there we go. 582, 582, that's the cap right there actually. So we were pretty close to hit it without defense down and weaken on a Relentless. Now, a Savage will bring you more value to all that stuff, especially the damage on waves. And if you want to speed up the run, that's going to be one of the things that's important. And if you don't have a team like this, maybe Savage is still going to be a better option in the endgame. But then it's kind of like, well, it's not that great for the Hydra clan boss, you know, like, so for example, in Hydra, guys, if you're going to have Savage, it's kind of like going to be pointless, you know, like you're already hitting the cap with a defense down. So Relentless is going to be kind of like a no-brainer, or maybe even a reflex set. The only thing is that you have two skills that you're planning to use in Hydra, like you're planning to use the decrease attack, the weaken, so bringing in a reflex set is not going to be as beneficial. But all around, let's just say we're comparing him with this Royal Guard. So this Royal Guard is on Savage, you know. So the thing is, they're not really going to do more than they can hit on the cap, you know. So that's why I think that for the majority of players out there, the best build, the most efficient build for all of you guys, the one that will benefit you the most, will be Relentless. So check this out. Super slow animations, 381, 381, 381. Relentless, defense down, all that you need. If we're going to go over with Royal Guard, once he's going to take his turn, check the damage. 381, and he's on Savage, you know, and he has better stats than Gnut, so it's pretty pointless to put Savage on him for Hydra or for a different content like this. But let me know in the comments down below, how are you planning to build Gnut, guys? I'm a big fan of the champion, you know, and yeah, I prefer Relentless and Savage. These are the two things that I would suggest you to prioritize. Now, if you don't have Savage, a lethal set is great, right? Like, it's pretty much the same thing, just a better version of Savage. If you don't have that either, you can use an Instinct set. It still gives you ignore defense while you're progressing, if that's the main thing that you're looking for. But I wouldn't recommend people to build him on all sorts of different sets like Perception, Speed, etc. Unless, of course, you don't have decent Relentless or decent Savage or decent Instinct or Lethal, you know, basically. That was all for the video. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.